Discerning Hearts presents In Search of the Still Point with Dr. Regis Martin. In episode 75, Dr. Martin reflects on the mystery of Holy Saturday.
What is the real and abiding content of the Christian religion? Is it even possible to identify, much less defend, for people living so many centuries following its first appearance in the Mediterranean world? How can an ancient faith be presented in a way that is fresh and vibrant, indeed, that makes possible true humanity in the world of today? Well, that was the question an obscure German priest and professor by the name of Joseph Ratzinger put to his students in the summer of 1967 in a series of lectures which later became Introduction to Christianity, a book so captivating that on the strength of its argument, the then Pope Paul VI practically made him a bishop on the spot, setting in motion a series of elevations that would eventuate in his becoming Pope, whom we know, of course, as Benedict XVI. And while I can't speak for others concerning the impact of the book, what it had on their lives, it certainly produced a great sea change in my own, as a result of which I resolved to become a theologian. What especially moved me about the book was a particular section consisting of really only a few pages, in which he describes the descent of Christ into hell, surely the deepest and darkest mystery of faith, which we locate right at the center of the Creed. At the time, it so galvanized my attention that I have never gotten over it, having wondered and written about it ever since. The mystery of Holy Saturday, the day on which God is dead. It is an event expressing, says Ratzinger, the unparalleled experience of our age, that God is simply absent, that the grave hides him, that he no longer awakens, no longer speaks, the descent of God into muteness, into the dark silence of the absent. The most profound kinship, in other words, has been struck between ourselves and God, enshrouded together amid the silence and the loneliness of one long Holy Saturday. Not forgetting, however, that silence, too, is salvific, that God is not only, as Ratzinger puts it, the comprehensible word that comes to us, but also the silent, inaccessible, uncomprehended, and incomprehensible ground that eludes us. That there is truth precisely embedded in his concealment, just as God hides himself in the Eucharist. In fact, says Ratzinger, it is only when we have experienced him as silence that we may hope to hear his speech, which proceeds out of the silence. And where does the silence begin but in the death rattle that follows upon the terrible cry of abandonment? My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Here Christ our brother cries out, not for himself, but for the Father, whose presence is now perceived as sheer, everlasting absence. After this, asks Ratzinger, do we still need to ask what prayer in our hour of darkness must be? Can it be anything else but the cry from the depths, in company with the Lord who has descended into hell and who has established the nearness of God in the midst of abandonment by God? If there be a night whose darkness no reassuring voice can reach into, a door through which we are forced to go alone, then it is not the world Christ came to redeem. What the mystery of Holy Saturday reveals is the fact that, quote, Christ himself strode through the gate of our final loneliness, that in his passion he went down into the abyss of our abandonment. Where no voice can reach us any longer, there he is. Hell is thereby overcome, because there is life in the midst of death, because love dwells in it. In short, the dungeon of death has been thrown open by the Lord of life, whose love has vanquished even hell. Thanks for listening. This is Regis Martin in Search of the Still Point.
You've been listening to Dr. Regis Martin in Search of the Still Point. For more episodes in this series, visit discerninghearts.com, or you can find it in our free Discerning Hearts app or on many other streaming platforms. Discerning Hearts is a 501c3 nonprofit Catholic apostolate dedicated to evangelization and spiritual formation through the use of new media. To learn how you can support our mission, visit discerninghearts.com.